Saturn in the zodiac sign of Virgo grants the native a totality of critical thinking abilities and skills. So similar to like we will mention with the sixth house, these people are very disciplined. Let me tell you, shout out to Justin, aka Nahum. He's a friend of mine, born 79 with Saturn in Virgo. I think after 79, the next time after that was 2007, 2008. But the ones with 79 have the North Node on them, and this is someone who's definitely very, 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 very disciplined about, you know, working out, given that Virgo is, as an earth sign, going to ground a lot of field experience, barring its social element, which represents more real social dynamics. It really speaks to how disciplined these beings are when working with others. Of course, in the negative side of this, where they take advantage of that authority, they can take advantage of other people, but at its best, a Saturn in Virgo highly disciplines not only the level of one's ability to analyze situations, but how they apply this critical thinking towards their routine, but really the development of their behavior. Given its mutable nature, this is applicable in pretty much many different fields, industries, but of course the mutable nature of Virgo speaks really more to the perspective of analysis. And now Virgo can break things down very critically. A Saturn in Virgo is going to add a totality of how critically they break everything down. Okay, so Virgo's going to break things down to its individual piece, where Pisces will see how they're all connected. Saturn in Virgo is going to break everything down to its individual piece. They're very thorough. They could probably get away with your murder if they wanted to, but the Saturn in Virgo really takes into account not only every detail that's necessary for an experience. It kind of reminds me of like a forensic, you know, I forgot what the name is, but the forensic agents who, you know, clean up a crime, or forensic crime specialists or whatnot. Pluto and Virgo as well, which we'll talk about when we do the Pluto series. Of course, we mentioned it being a social sign, so this is a really good staple that leads into activism. A Saturn in Virgo is going to really feel burdened if they don't really contribute much to their community or society. And when I say society, I don't mean collectively as much as I mean, let's say, like in their vicinity, around when they go out, you know, in their neighborhood, dealing with other people. And at its worst, those who don't feel a burden to help will be very gifted at scamming other people, because once again, Saturn in a Virgo can very expertly know where one lacks discipline in their own habits, and if they're not in integrity, they can exploit that like very well. If they are in integrity, they will push you to actually, you know, get better at that, and that's going to be through relentless criticism. Albeit by the time they're criticizing, it's in a sense where they perhaps see some potential they want to mold. The tendency to want to fix with Virgo is even more serious here with Saturn, and that could be a potential negative, given that Virgo could be very cynical, and Saturn, this will also add a lot more, similar to a overthinker with Gemini, how these beings can totally overanalyze situations and add so much more to their stress that doesn't really have to be had, you know, if they kind of just take their time allowing situations to play out. Regardless, this is absolutely and critically flawless position, and you know, this favors DIY projects. This favors really getting to the core root of how to fix an issue, breaking things down perceptually with critical thinking. Very, very gifted critical thinkers, just to the point that maybe they don't want to overdo it so that they don't hurt themselves in the process. You comment down your thoughts below, and I'll see you next video.